Hey y'all, welcome. This is Amy Jo Berman, and I'm really excited you're here on YouTube hanging out with me for this awesome training that we are about to jump into called 3 Keys to be a Next Level Actor. If we're newly connected, my name is Amy Jo Berman. I'm casting, auditioning, and career expert for actors, founder and CEO of the Unstoppable Actor Program, a program designed to take the struggle out of struggling actor, you shouldn't be one of those, but you should be an unstoppable actor instead. And that's my mission, to help you do that. So as part of that whole concept here today, I'm going to unleash upon you in just a minute or two the 3 keys to be a next level actor. Now, one of the reasons why I'm doing this training right now is that I have a program, a really kick-ass exclusive program for actors, showing them how to continue to get to each and every next level of their acting career. And the enrollment is open for that. So I have Next Level on the brain. And I've been talking to a lot of my Next Level members, and they've been telling me how helpful, knowing what the 3 keys are and how it's helped them and all that kind of stuff. And so I thought, I'm just going to jump on here and share with you what they already know, the things that are helping them to jump to each and every next level of their career. I'm going to share with you here on this training right now. So basically what we're talking about here is, and you're definitely in the right place if you've been feeling stuck at a certain level in your acting career for, too long, right? If you've been frustrated and struggling, and go ahead. And this is what happens when you train at home. Your cat knocks at the door and you've got to let him in. So I have a cat who knocks on doors, and this was not a planned entrance, but there he is. Welcome, Ember, to the show. Okay, and Alex, you're going to have to keep your eye on Ember here so he doesn't get too distracted. Okay. So if you're feeling stuck at the same level for too long, you're definitely in the right place. So this 3 key training that we're going to get into in a second, it's designed to help 3 types of actors. Oh, you know how they say cats and babies upstage you all the time? Guess what's happening? Okay, so this training is designed to help 3 kinds of actors. So if you're newer, then you're potentially stuck at a certain level because you're stuck in newbie jail, meaning you've decided you want to be an actor and you just really have no idea how to get to that next level, or even what it looks like, what it's supposed to be. So you're kind of stuck in that newbie jail, meaning you just can't get out and get to the next level. So if you're newer, that's you. Now, there's 2 other categories of actor that this training is going to help. So you could be the next one, meaning you're stuck in co-star jail. Now, if you're stuck in co-star jail, it's likely you've been at this for a little while, and maybe you've booked a few things here and there, most likely small roles or things that don't pay a tremendous amount of money, or maybe you've been working for free a lot or for deferred pay or all that kind of stuff. And you feel like, there's that next level of bigger, juicier parts that you just, for some reason, cannot access, and it's driving you nuts. So that means you're stuck in co-star jail. And if that's so, this training will definitely help you. Now, the 3rd type of actor that this training will help is if you're stuck in dry spell jail, meaning you've been at this for quite some time and you've actually had some success. You've booked some good, juicy roles, but here and there with long dry spells in between bookings, and you can't seem to get any consistency going in your acting career. And so, you're stuck in dry spell jail. So, if that's the case, this will definitely help you. Now, the interesting thing about this is that recently I did a survey to about 1,500, 2,000 actors, and I asked them, if you're feeling stuck, why? What do you think has you stuck? And I got some interesting answers. See if any of these ring a bell for you. A lot of actors said, I don't have an agent. That's why I'm stuck at the same level. I don't know how to get to the next. I just don't know what that next level is, actually. That's why I'm stuck. Or, what is my next level? I don't seem to have any roadmap. Or I heard from a lot of actors, I'm just not getting enough auditions. I don't have enough money for training. I don't know the right people. I don't have any connections. I don't have a reel. And there was just this litany of reasons of why I'm stuck. And here's where it gets interesting, because most of those are actually not the reasons that you get stuck. there's actually 2 specific reasons that you do get stuck, and I'm going to tell you what they are right now. Oh, I do want to say this though. As we get deeper into this training, I just want you to know, don't feel like you have to take like 50 million notes. I'm going to give you an opportunity to download a PDF with the breakdown of everything I'm about to share with you here on this. So stick around through the end of the training, and I'll give you the link to download the recap, the breakdown. Okay, but I digress. Back to you. So the thing is, and I'll tell you the 2 reasons you're stuck in a minute, but if you've thought like one of those things that I just said or something else is the reason that you're stuck, it's likely that it's not. Because if you think that one thing is the key, is the thing that has you stuck, you're going to see very clearly as we go through this training why that's probably not true. And if you do think that's the reason you're stuck, what's likely happening is you're taking more and more actions around that thing, right? Whatever that thing is that you think it is, you're trying to work it in so many different ways. And what you're actually doing is perpetuating this sort of acting career hamster wheel where you're running around doing a million things, all trying to get yourself to the next level, and you're busy as heck, right? Doing all this stuff, but you're actually not moving forward. You're just running around in circles, and it's exhausting and frustrating. Am I right? Right. It's kind of like, like, do you ever get your tires stuck in the mud? Or hear about somebody who did, or watch the movie My Cousin Benny, which is all features that particular problem. It's kind of like that. It's like, when your tires are stuck in the mud, if you slam on the gas, all you're doing is trying to do more of what it is that's keeping you stuck. And what you're actually doing is digging yourself in further, which is exactly what you're doing in your acting career if you're trying to do more of what already has you stuck. So the answer is not to continue to do more of what has you stuck, but to learn the reasons why you are stuck, and then learn these 3 next level keys to help get you unstuck. Sound good? Okay, good. Excuse me, a little allergy season here in Los Angeles, so pardon my sniffles. So, okay, there's 2 actual reasons that you're stuck. And one of them is you're focusing on the wrong things, which is, like what I just told you, there's certain reasons why you're stuck. And if you're focusing on actions that are having you do the wrong things, that's not going to help you at all. So you're either focusing on the wrong things, that's one reason, and or you're trying to go it alone, meaning, you think that acting is like a solo gig and you're supposed to try to figure out the answers all on your own. And so, you're doing a lot of trial and error, trying to figure it out by yourself, and it's not working. Does that make sense? Does that ring a bell in some way? Right? Okay. So, here's the reason why. And here's what's going to happen. So by the time we're done here on this video, you're going to know what actions you should be focusing on and what you shouldn't. And you're going to know how to consistently check in for expert tweaks and guidance to make sure that you're on the right track. Now, one of the things that's interesting about what I just said about checking in for expert tweaks and guidance is I said this to, I was teaching a group of actors these next level keys recently, and one of them said to me, whoa, wait a minute, why do we have to check in with somebody else to get guidance and tweaks to make sure I'm on the right track? Why can't you just tell me what the track is and I'll just go on it? And that's a very interesting thing, but here's the thing, this goes back to not wanting to go it alone. And when it comes to an acting career, you definitely want to understand that going it alone isn't in your best interest. You always want to check in. It's kind of like being an airline pilot. So like if you were an airline pilot, you would, obviously you'd go to aviation school, you'd learn what all the gadgets are inside the cockpit, you would practice, flying, and you'd know how to do that part of it. You'd be really good at it, right? But what you would also do is you would put your trust in somebody in the tower down on the ground, somebody who's creating your flight plan with you, somebody who is guiding you and giving you course corrections along the way, expert tweaks, right? Letting you know that you're on the right path for a smooth and safe landing. And it's the same thing with your acting career. You want to empower yourself to know all the stuff that you should know, but you also are going to require, if you want to be successful, which I'm sure you do, some expert guidance and tweaks along the way. And the trick is knowing where to get those, but we'll talk about that a little bit further down the training. So, what I want for you here is to know where to focus your actions and your attention and all at all levels of your acting career, and we'll talk about that. And then I'll also share with you here, and you'll learn how to continue to get that expert course correction that we just talked about at every juncture along your journey. And in order to do that, you need what I call the 3 next level keys. Now, we're going to go into each one of these in detail, but the 3 next level keys are the C3 rule, the friction finder, and the success stages. And let's dive in and go through each of these one by one. Again, you will be able to download the PDF summary breakdown of this entire training. I will put the link in the chat if you're here live as we're going through this towards the end, or if you're watching this as a video, the link will be in the description after this is done being live. So let's dive into the C3 rule. Now, the C3 rule simply states this: is there are 3 vital components to a successful acting career. 3. And when I say successful acting career, I'm defining success here as being a consistently working full-time actor. So if that's what your goal is, and let's just assume it is for today, there's 3 vital components that you need if you want to be that consistently working full-time actor. And here's the key. All 3 of those things, they have to be in perfect balance, in alignment with each other. And you have to be spending the same amount of time and effort on each one of these 3 things. So what are the 3 things? The 3 things are the 3 C's: connections, confidence, and craft. Okay, connections, confidence, and craft. And the way we're going to define those here is the following. Excuse me. But first, a drink of water. Because we all have to hydrate, right? All right. So the first one, excuse me, is connections. Now, connections, when I'm talking about connections for you, we're talking about marketing materials, meaning all of your marketing materials, anything to do with the business part of your career, all your marketing stuff, demo reel, headshots, and all that stuff, your industry connections, both online and in person, getting representation, your social media following, everything that has to do with the businessy part falls under the banner of connections. So that's part 1. And then the second part, the second C, is confidence. And confidence, I know you know what the word confidence means, but in this context, confidence refers to your thoughts, your belief systems, your whole inner narrative, that little chatter in the back of your mind, that narrative that supports you, that lifts you up, that's in alignment with your goals as an actor. You know, many of you have thoughts and beliefs and an inner narrative that's completely counter to your goals as an actor, right? You know what I'm talking about. You really want success, but your inner voice is going, you don't deserve success. Who do you think you are? What were you thinking? Right? That little voice, right? And when those 2 things are working counter to each other, it's impossible for you to move forward. I mean, you're literally at odds. And so confidence comes from creating a belief system and an inner narrative that works for you instead of against you. That's in alignment with where you're going instead of being counter to. And when you get that dialed in, that's what creates that yummy, delicious, irresistible, castable confidence that casting directors just can't help themselves. They just want to cast you. Okay. And so when I'm talking about confidence, that's what I mean. So all the actions that have to do with cultivating that type of belief system are what you want to be doing in the area of confidence. So connections, confidence. The third C is the one you probably spend the most time on, and that would be craft. So craft, and that would refer to not just your acting skills, but all the creative skills that you need, all those strategies that you need to master so that you can nail your auditions and your performances. And truthfully, most actors I know who are stuck and struggling at some juncture in their acting career are, you know, if we had to look at like a snapshot of the 3 C's, right? And imagine them kind of like as a bar graph, you know, where each one is getting a certain amount of attention. You know, craft would be way up here, whereas connections and confidence would be way down here in as much as your actions and attention go. Okay. And in order for you to be successful as an actor, all 3 of those C's, connections, confidence, and craft, have to be absolutely in balance with one another. You have to be spending, so think about the amount of time you spend on your acting career on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. I bet if you really looked back, most of you are spending time mostly in craft. Although I'll give you some examples of what it looks like when you're spending more time in one of the other areas too. Because regardless of which area you focus on, if you're not equally focused in all three, you're going to be stuck, struggling, frustrated, and unable to get to the next level, which is probably why you're here right now. But don't worry, I got you covered. Stick with me. And again, the PDF download will be available either in the link of the description of this video, or if you're here with me live, we'll pop it in the chat later on. Okay. So let me give you an example of what this might look like for you in your acting career. So recently I came across a newer actor who came to me for a consult. And basically, he was telling me that, he came from a small town, right? And in his small town, he was super successful and the big fish in the small pond. He was in all the school plays. Everybody was like, oh my God, you should go to Hollywood and be an actor. And, and he was like, wow, I totally should do this. And, I'm going to LA. And he comes to LA and he's no longer the big fish in the small pond. And, what his thought, his belief system said, if you are talented enough and skilled enough, talent will win out and you'll get discovered. And that's just really not the way it works, because the talent or skill or craft is one part of the three-part equation. But Nick, didn't know that, this client of mine. And so, he got some starter headshots. He thought, okay, I got to do something. I know I need pictures. He did that, and where he spent most of his time was taking classes. He took every class known to man, working on his skill set. And by the way, I'm not dissing classes. Working on your craft is important. It's 1/3 of the amount of things that you should be doing. And he had this belief that talent would win out. And so what happened was, he was successful in a small town. He wasn't getting anywhere here as a newer actor. He didn't know what his roadmap should look like. He didn't know what the stages and steps and milestones were. He just was like working on his craft, and so what was happening was he wasn't getting anywhere. And it started to, make him question himself. So the confidence was going whoosh, right? He was like, what was I thinking? I don't want to let everybody down. They're all counting on me. And, who am I to even think I could write, that chatter, right? And so, and when we sat down and took a look at it, and I showed him what his snapshot of his C3 was, everything in the area of craft, teeny bit in the area of connections, and like he didn't pay attention to the confidence area at all because he just didn't know he was supposed to, and that's why he was stuck. So we worked on that and got him unstuck, but we'll talk about that later. So that's one way this could work out. Now, there's a couple other examples I want to give you so that you can really get a clear vision of what this looks like. I had another client who came to me. She decided to pursue acting later in life. So she came to me. She was a newer actor, but she wasn't young. Right. And she was starting later in life because she always knew she wanted to be an actor. And maybe you've always known, right? But she decided to put her own life and dreams and desires on hold and start a family and take care of them. And so she basically put herself on the back burner and put everybody else on the front burner. But at a certain point when her kids got a little bit older, she was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. But in the meantime, during that whole time that she was not pursuing her dream, she was avidly pursuing her mindset and cultivating her confidence. She was making vision boards and going to seminars and reading books and listening to audios and reading The Secret and doing all that kind of stuff, right? And she thought, I'll just wait for the right time, and I'll just visualize my success, and when I'm ready, there it will be. And it didn't actually work that way, because what she was doing? She was focusing all of her attention in the area of confidence. But, I said to her, like, what are the other actions you're taking besides working on that, which is great, but like, what else? And, she said, well, I opened up a backstage account, and, every now and again I submit myself for a student film and stuff. And, that she took an acting class at a local studio, but, more hobby kind of stuff versus professional stuff. So she was really, really out of balance in her C3. Right. And so even though she had cultivated this incredible mindset, she wasn't able to secure opportunities because her connections with, her actions there were just nowhere. And her skill set just wasn't competitive enough. So even if she had gotten an opportunity, she didn't really have the chops and the skills built up yet. And so that's why she was stuck. Right. Does that make sense? And so her primary focus had been on confidence. And so you would think, if you didn't know any better, that would be good, but you have to have all three in balance. I'll give you one last example and see if this rings a bell, or if you know an actor like this. So there's a client who came to me. His name was Charlie, and Charlie was super charming. I call him Charming Charlie, but he really is. And really good looking, just got one of those personalities, and one of those people that has, some raw talent, but he never really bothered really training his instrument and focusing on craft so much, just enough to kind of get by, because he was just so great looking and charming that seemed to get him in enough doors. In fact, he was really good, and still is, at making connections. You put him in a room and suddenly everybody's his best friend. So what was happening for him was, he was getting in rooms and getting opportunities, things that you'd be drooling over. But because he didn't work on his craft, he really wasn't able to deliver. He didn't have the chops to really book a lot of stuff. And so here he is getting these great opportunities in these great rooms with these great people, not really booking enough. And so what starts to happen, because he didn't work on his mindset, he didn't think that was important at all. And so then when he's getting these opportunities and not booking, he's questioning himself. What's wrong with me? Why did I do this? Who did I think I am? Why I don't deserve this? And starts going down that rabbit hole. And when you're out of balance, so that's another one. So connections was up here, and he had a little bit of craft, a little bit of mindset, but not really. So completely out of balance. So, and we could go on and on with all these different examples, but you're starting to see how when your C3 is out of balance, you get stuck for different reasons, because you're a different person and the things that you're doing and being are different. But, that's what stuck looks like, and that's why it happens. So your C3 has to be in balance. So you really want to ask yourself right now, is your C3 in or out of balance? My cat clearly is out of balance because he just meowed and told me so. Thanks, Ember. So if your C3 is out of balance, I don't want you to feel bad. This is not a license to kick yourself and go, God, I can't, what's wrong with me? This is a moment to go, okay, what am I going to do about that? So what you want to do right now here in this moment is make a decision to focus all of your actions in your acting career equally in all three areas of your C3. That's all you have to do right in this moment, is make that decision. Before this moment, maybe you weren't even aware of that, 3C dynamic. Now you know. Now there's no excuse, okay? Unless you want to stay stuck, which I don't think you do. Okay. So, and again, you're gonna get the breakdown notes of this whole training will be in the description of this video. So stick around. Okay. Now, once you know your C3 and how it's supposed to be in balance, what can happen is you start refocusing your energy, and that's great. But sometimes you still encounter obstacles, right? And that's totally normal. So if you encounter an obstacle that's still keeping you stuck, what do you do? Well, that's what leads us to key number 2, next level key number 2, which is a strategy I call the friction finder strategy. Now, with the friction finder strategy, here's the way that this works. Okay. So let's say you're pursuing a specific goal, like mini goal in your acting career, like, getting an agent. Okay. So if you're pursuing that goal and, you're likely maybe trying something that you've heard works, like getting referrals, right? So if you're doing that and it's not working, before you go, this doesn't work, you want to learn how to find the friction point. Okay. And the friction finder strategy will help you do that. And before we dive deeper into the friction finder strategy, I just want to tell you something really important. And this will either make the friction finder work so beautifully well for you, or it will just not work. So this is what you got to do. You have to make sure your expectations are in the right place. Meaning, if you're pursuing a career as a professional actor, and then you have to be willing to play the long game. Meaning, acting is not a quick fix, instant type of thing. Nobody is an overnight discovery. I mean, you can name any overnight discovery and I'll show you their journey from 10 years prior. It wasn't overnight. There's no such thing. Instant gratification. If you have that and you're looking for that kind of buzz from acting, you're definitely in the wrong profession. So there are no shortcuts when it comes to being a professional consistently working actor. There are strategic, smart strategies that can help you get in alignment faster and make your journey happen quicker. But they're not like shortcuts, okay? And I really want to shift you away from thinking that way. There's no just add water and stir acting career. It doesn't work that way, okay? So just make sure that your expectations are not there, and that if you want to get to, the next level in your acting career, you have to shift your expectations to being willing to take consistent daily actions on your next level success path in your acting career. Consistency is the key, right? The balancing of the C3 and consistent daily actions toward that are your friend. So there's no shortcuts, but there are next level success strategies that you can deploy to help you move faster. And the other thing I just want you to think about, and then we'll dive into the friction finder, is that I'm going to ask you to do something that I'm going to ask you to stop doing something that you shouldn't be doing. What I see a lot of is the comparisonitis, where you look over at other actors doing what they're doing, and you're like, how come they get that and I'm not? What's wrong with me? They have this and I don't. Let me just tell you something right now. Every actor is on their own path. If there was one path to success as an actor, believe me, with my 20 years of experience in this business and the A-list career that I've had, if I knew of the one way that all actors could be successful, I would tell you, okay? But the truth is, you're a unique creative being, and your path is unique to you. And his path is unique to him, and her path is unique to her, and whatever, okay? So stop comparing yourself to other actors. It actually doesn't serve you at all. In fact, it brings you down, and you don't need that. You have enough challenges as an actor. Don't give yourself any more, okay? Now, if you can shift your mind to let go of those fast gratification, mindset things, and move towards consistency and uniqueness, right, in your own mind, and understanding that, then you can deploy this friction finder strategy and it will work really well for you. Okay, so what is it? Well, it's about finding the friction point in what it is that you're doing. So let's take the agent example again. So if you are going to find an agent and you decide, okay, I'm going to try getting referrals because that's a proven strategy. That's probably, honestly, the best strategy that there is when it's done right. When it's done wrong, it doesn't work at all. But when it's done right, it works really well. So let's take that strategy, getting referrals. So if you're going to get referrals to get an agent, there are, a few steps that you would want to go through, right? Getting referrals would require asking, right? Asking for referrals, and then getting those referrals, and then sending your stuff to those referrals, and then getting responses from them, getting meetings from those, going to the meetings, and getting signed, right? These are the steps, right? It's not rocket science. However, the friction point comes when you're trying one of those steps and something's not working. Like, I had an actor who came to me for a consultation, and he said to me, I can't get to the next level because I can't get an agent, right? He already had some mindset issues about this, this isn't working for me. And he said, everyone says to get referrals. I tried that. Getting referrals doesn't work. I just can't get an agent. So obviously he had some limiting beliefs about getting an agent, but more important, he was about to throw out this great strategy, getting referrals, because he couldn't seem to make it work. And I said, okay, before we go throwing out a proven strategy like getting referrals, tell me a little bit more about the actions that you're taking. What is it that you're doing exactly? I want to know everything. So he kind of laid it all out for me. He's like, well, I asked a bunch of people for referrals and I didn't get any. This doesn't work. I was like, whoa, take a breath. Let's take a breath. Let's break this down even more. Tell me what it is you're saying to those people. And so he recounted what he was saying to the people he was asking for referrals. And I was like, okay, I get it. It's the way you're asking. So if you think about it, if you think about the strategy, right? Ask for a referral, and then get referrals, send your stuff to referrals, get a meeting, get signed, right? If you think about all the steps, he asked for a referral, but he didn't get any. So in between those two pieces, that's where he was stopped. And so the friction point was in his ask strategy. And so I was like, okay, before you get all freaky and decide to do something completely else, you came to me for a reason. Let be open. And I said, and I walked him through a strategy for asking for referrals that had him talking to different people different ways and using specific language and stuff like that. And I said, I want you to go try this ask strategy and let me know how it goes. So he did it and he got a whole bunch of referrals. And he's like, oh my God, that worked. I was like, you see, that was the friction point. There was friction between those two things, asking and getting, because of the way you were asking. You were ready to throw out this whole thing. I said, I want you to take those referrals and then follow my next advice on, sending them your stuff and, going to the meetings and all that kind of stuff. Long story short, he got signed. He got 2 offers and picked one and signed. Okay, so we found the friction point, and that was what enabled him to move forward. But here's where it gets really interesting. Okay, so I guess this is a very big pain point for a lot of actors, because I had a couple of other clients that came to me within, like a couple of months of each other with the same problem, but a different friction point. And here's what it looked like. So another, an actress came to me and she said, I'm trying to get an agent. It's not working. I asked for referrals. That's not working. What should I do? And I was like, okay, tell me more. What are you doing? And she told me about how she asked for referrals and then she got referrals, right? And then she sent out her stuff to those referrals, and then she didn't get anything back. Like, they didn't respond to her. She didn't get any meetings. Nothing happened. I was like, okay, so different friction point, right? She asked and she got referrals, so no friction there, right? But then she sent her stuff to those referrals and got no response. Friction point right there. I said, tell me what you're doing when you're sending your stuff. Describe it to me, what you said and what you did and what you sent. And so I was like, oh, okay, I get this. It's what you're saying in your message, and it's the package that you're sending them that needs a tweak. So make these changes and then try it again and come back and tell me what happened. So she did that, and boom, she got meetings, right? And long story short, she did end up getting, it took her like, a good few meetings to find the right agent, but she did get signed. So the point is, same problem, different friction point. And if she'd have just thrown out the strategy of, getting referrals, saying, oh, it doesn't work, she'd be with no agent today. And interestingly, so really close to that one, another actor came to me and he said, I'm trying to get an agent, referrals, it's not working. I was like, okay, tell me what's going on. He's like, well, I asked for referrals from all these people. I got a whole bunch of referrals and that was great. I sent them my stuff and I got a bunch of meetings. And so I'm going on all these meetings, but nobody's offering to sign me. I'm getting the, no thanks thing. And I was like, interesting. So same friction point or different friction point? Different friction point, right? He asked, he got referrals, he sent his stuff, he got meetings, went to the meetings but didn't get signed. So the friction point is there. It's between, he's going to the meeting but not getting signed. So something's going on in his meeting strategy. And so I was like, okay, talk to me about the meetings. And we talked about the meetings and I was like, okay, I got this. So I gave him some really cool ninja strategies for taking a meeting and, meeting with agents and all that kind of stuff. And so he went back through and tried the whole thing again. And, long story short, he got signed. So my point is that when you find the friction point of whatever it is that's not working for you, you can easily, once you and this requires, sometimes when you're working on your own acting career, you get really kind of in it. You can't see the forest for the trees. You're like, this isn't working, right? And I'm empowering you to step back and move those trees and take a look at it and go, wait a minute, where's the friction? Where am I encountering this problem? It requires you to kind of step out of your own emotions for a minute and just look strategically as if you were looking at somebody else. And when you do that, you can often see that friction point very clearly, especially now that you have the strategy. And once you find the friction point, what you do is you fix it, right? You do whatever you have to do to fix that friction point, and then you go back to the beginning of the strategy and move through it again. And that's how you fix something that's not working. Make sense? Okay. Yeah, it's good, right? Again, don't worry about taking notes. You're going to get the breakdown of this whole video, a really cool free PDF at the end of this video, link in the description. Okay. So all right, to balance your C3, all three of those things, confidence, connections, and craft have to be in perfect balance. That when you encounter an obstacle, you can simply take a step back and move through the friction finder strategy, trying to find the friction point and then moving through again once you fix the friction point. The big question then comes at this point, and I've gotten this from quite a few actors, is, okay, I can do all that. How do I know though that I'm on the right track at all? Sometimes I just don't even know where I'm headed or what I'm doing. Where is that right track, and how do I know I'm on it? Did you ever wonder that? You are definitely not alone. Now, in order to stay on a track, right, and keep rising to each and every next level in your acting career, and by the way, there's always a next level in your acting career. There's not one next level. There's a next level, a next level, a next level. And by the way, you want that. You always want to be growing and ascending to, a richer, more interesting, newer part of your career. So this is something to celebrate, the fact that you're reaching, okay? So, but in order to reach for something, you have to know what it is, right? You have to know what all those next levels are in order to be on a track towards them. Does that make sense? Right? You can't get to where you're going if you don't know where it is. Like if I said to you, okay, I want you to get in your car and wherever you're at, right? Let's say you're in, San Diego, and I want you to go to Wyoming, right? Get in your car and go to Wyoming. But here's the thing. No GPS. You're not allowed GPS. You can't look on your computer for directions in advance. No physical maps. Nothing. You just have to go. Well, that's kind of whack, right? You know kind of generally where it is in the scheme of things, but you're not going to just get in your car and start driving. How are you going to get to Wyoming? Not that I don't know why you'd want to go there, but not that you know what I'm saying? Like you'd be wandering around. It's a complete waste of your time. You'd want to know where all the places are to turn so that you know you're on the right path. Does that make sense? And your acting career is the same exact way. And so if you've been stuck and struggling, frustrated, not able to get to the next level, there's a good chance that either your C3 was out of balance, which is very likely, or you didn't know how to find a friction point, or you're driving around in the general direction of your acting career goals, but you don't really know where you're headed. And how can you really achieve every milestone and every level goal if you don't know what they are? Agreed? Okay. And that's why you need the third next level key, and that's the success stages. Okay. The success stages, next level key number 3. Okay. And again, we're going to define success here as making your living as a full-time working actor for these purposes. Okay. So success, the success stages are this. So there's actually 5 stages to success as an actor, film and television actor who wants to be, if you want to be consistently working full-time, 5 stages. And you have to know what they are. Now, each stage has several specific milestones that you have to hit in order to get to the next stage. I want to take this sort of big picture view of the success stages right now. So here's what they are. Stage 0, that's like if you're brand spanking new to acting, right? You've just decided you wanted to be a professional actor. Maybe you're a little nervous, but you're willing to do what it takes to hit all 3 of the milestones at this stage because you're passionate about acting. You can't imagine a life doing anything else now that you've made this decision. So you're determined to hit those 3 milestones so you can ascend to stage 1. Okay, that would be your next level. When you get to stage 1, by this point in your acting career, you have a plan. You've learned exactly how to create a plan for your acting career, and you are on it, right? And you're working on your craft. You're also beginning to seed the ground for connections. You are focusing equally also on cultivating a mindset that works for you and lifts you up and supports you. And you're doing all those things, right? And at this stage, in stage 1, you are voraciously pursuing every opportunity you can by making sure that you hit all 4 of the milestones of stage 1. And once you hit all 4, you rise to stage 2. Now, at stage 2, by this point in your acting career, you're getting some work here and there. Okay, you've booked a few jobs here and there, and you're starting to see some results from the consistent daily actions that you've been taking. Feels pretty good. So you're like, I'm loving this. And you kind of double down on your passionate commitment to pursue acting as your dream. And you are laser focused on hitting all 4 stage 2 milestones so that you can rise to stage 3 because nothing's going to stop you. When you get to stage 3, this is where you're starting to get bigger and juicier paid roles. But, as much as you are getting them, you're still working a side job to pay your bills between gigs. So you're not full-time yet, but you're starting to get in on some of the bigger stuff. And so you're really excited for the fine tuning and the 3 milestones of this stage so that you could finally rise to stage 4. Now, at stage 4, right when you hit stage 4, the first thing you're going to do is look back and carefully make sure that you hit every milestone along the way. Because I know that you like to, you want to get there fast, but you need to make sure you didn't miss a milestone along the path. Because if you did, you're going to get stuck and you're not going to be able to really ascend the way that you want to. In fact, that's true at every stage. If you find you're stuck, once you learn kind of what the stages are and all the milestones, if you find you're stuck at a particular stage, I can almost guarantee you that you probably missed a milestone along the way. So like, for example, I had a client recently who came to me, an actor came to me and said, she was actually one of my next level members. So I have this program for to show you how to, get expert guidance, for your next level acting career. And she's one of my members, and she said, she met with me for a consult, and she said, I want to, do X, Y, and Z. I'm like, okay, what stage are you? And she said, stage 3. And I was like, okay. And I asked her more about her acting career. And as she started to tell me all this stuff, and I started to look at all her things, I'm like, what about this milestone back here in stage 1? I don't see that one. And she's like, oh. And I'm like, yeah. I said, you're stuck here at stage 3, and you can't get to stage 4 without that. You got to have that. So if you're feeling stuck and you can't get to the next level, it's very likely also that not only are you out of balance, or did you not know how to find a friction point, but that you missed 1 or 2 or 5 milestones along the way, and you just didn't know because you didn't have that roadmap. You were driving to Wyoming without a map. Okay. So at stage 4, you're excited to hit every milestone that's coming, that you had up until this moment. You're working more than ever before on paid projects that you're actually proud of. You're really excited to reach that next milestone and rise to the status of consistently working professional actor. And that's when it gets even more fun, right? And so again, by the way, you're getting the PDF breakdown with all the notes of this, so don't panic, okay? Link is in the description. So now even if you're really skilled, you're really confident, you're really connected, any one of those things, that you need to focus equally on all 3 C's, connections, confidence, and craft, in order to have consistent success as an actor. Because anybody can book something from time to time. But if you're, struggling for like eternities in between, something's out of balance, right? And now you also know that you can find and fix any acting career obstacle by simply finding the friction point using that friction finder strategy. And you also know now that there are a specific set of specific milestones that every actor must achieve in order to rise to each of the next stages of your acting career. Make sense? Okay, so if you're stuck at a certain stage, you might have missed a milestone somewhere. Okay, good. So I just want to make sure we're all on the same page about that. So I know that that's a lot of stuff, and that's a lot of stuff to focus on. And the big question that I usually get at this point is like, well, what do I focus on first? So if you're wondering that, I'm going to tell you right now, the very first thing you want to focus on, and this is regardless of whether, what stage you're at, or whether you're stuck in newbie jail, co-star jail, or, the other one, which is blanking on me now. It just doesn't matter what level you're on, your C3. You want to focus on balancing your C3. You want to focus on looking at the actions that you're taking every day, every week, every month, and seeing how much of those actions are in one area over another, and how can I balance the actions that I'm taking. This is what you should be doing. Balancing your C3, it's the foundation of your success, hands down, like no contest, okay? And so you want to ask yourself, like, how can you apply what you've learned here with the 3 next level keys so that you can get to the next level of your acting career? And it's very simple. Again, focusing on your C3. Now, I have some resources and things that can help you do that faster, okay? So, here's your options is what I'm saying. You can go the long, slow route and do the trial and error thing, but I'm pretty sure that's what you've been doing up until this point that has gotten you stuck and frustrated, not getting to the next level. So you can continue to do that, but I wouldn't recommend it. Your next best option would be to vastly shorten your learning curve and maximize every audition and opportunity you get by balancing your C3. And I have a really great resource for you to that end. Now, you might know that I have a whole training library of training classes for actors, but I have 3 specific ones that when used together, they're really powerful. I call this my C3 training trio. It's my Unstoppable Connector class, Crushing Audition Nerves class, and Audition Fast Fix class. And these 3 classes, when used together, are super powerful to help you balance your C3, because one of them is teaching you how to make powerful industry connections. Another one is working on your belief system, helping you to feel confident in auditions. And the other one is helping you in your craft in auditions to prep very quickly for any role, even if you have very little prep time. And now this training trio is available on my website. You can get it any time that you want by just buying the classes there. And, and that's totally fine. I think if you add all 3 of them up, it's $331. You can totally get that right now. But I would rather you got it for free. and I want to give you the opportunity to get it for free if that's something that you're interested in. So if you're interested in getting those 3 classes for free instead of for $331, just go ahead and let me know in the comments, and I'm happy to continue further and tell you how you can do that. Yes, look, here's the thing. I have a really awesome exclusive program called Next Level. Guess what it's about? It's about support. It's about expert guidance, and it's about getting to the next level in your acting career, each and every next level at every stage of your acting career. And I would like to invite you to join that program. And when you do, you're going to get the entire C3 bonus trio that I just explained to you for free. Okay, just during this very limited time, we're only open for a few days, and I wanted to give you something really tasty to help you jump in, because I know that Next Level is going to help you. And let me just give you like the briefest of snapshots, and then I'm going to take your questions here about what the Next Level program is all about. The Next Level program it's an ongoing program, okay? Ongoing because your acting career is ongoing. It's not a class. I have an entire training library full of classes and there's tons of information and training inside the program, but it's way more than information. It's about doing it, getting it done. It's about ongoing training, support, and expert guidance to make sure that your C3 is always in balance, to make sure that you hit all the milestones. In fact, there's one exclusive training inside my Next Level program that you will never see on my website and that I will never sell, because it's only for my members. And it's the Next Level Success Path, where I actually train you on exactly what those stages are that I just gave you the kind of brief snapshot of, and how to use them, how to create your plan, and every single milestone that you need to hit along the way. This is the foundation. It's the most powerful thing, and all my members go through this training so that you can create a plan. In fact, the whole program is designed, like we have several live calls every month. So again, I want you to have interaction with me in this program, because I get a lot of actors who say, ask me this question and ask me that question. I have so many questions that come at me all the time. Like, how could I answer these questions for more actors? And I do that inside my program every single month. We do live office hours calls every month where I'm answering your questions. We do live spotlight calls where, we're diving deep on some really big acting career issues where you're learning and implementing and doing. And there's the Next Level Success Path training, and then there's our knowledge bombs. I drop knowledge bombs in the membership area every month too. And sometimes a knowledge bomb, these are like short, powerful mini trainings. Like there's one on creating your plan for your acting career. So if you don't know how to do that, we walk you through it. There's one on nailing an agent meeting. There's one on dealing with jealousy of other actors who are successful. There's all kinds of ones. And I do a new one, I drop a new one in there every single month. So this is about, and then there's the community. Sorry, how could I forget? That's my favorite part. The community, which is really powerful. So if you've been going at this alone, trying to deal with this alone, or with just your other struggling actor friends, it's like the blind leading the blind. This is different. Next Level is different. It's a community that really has bonded together and helps each other in the most positive and supportive way. And so if you want that feeling of guidance and support, not just from me, although you'll get that from me, my expert level, experience is in that group all the time, and the live calls and all that kind of good stuff for you every single month. But you also get this amazing community where you support each other. So if you love to give as much as you get, if you're the kind of actor who likes to help other actors, then I want to invite you into the program. And by the way, you could jump in to the program or find out more about it by going to nextlevelactor.com. In fact, Alex is going to put that link in the chat here for those of you who are live in the comments. So that's really the goal of this program. You can get that C3 trio of trainings. That's a $331 value now for free. You get access to all of that when you become a member. And all the details are on the page at Next Level Actor. I don't want to go through every little detail of it with you here, because you can look at it over there. But I did want to tell you that is available and it's yours. Okay. But you got to kind of join in order to take the benefit of that. And so let me just jump on the comments here and see if you guys have any questions about the C3 training, about the Next Level keys, about the success stages, or about the Next Level program. I would love to, let's see what you got here. All right, hold on, let me see. And by the way, that's there just in case you want to do that. And let me look through the questions and see what we got. Okay. Yeah, Jules, you'll get this information. It'll be the download for everything that you just learned here on this broadcast. It will be the link in the description. You can get it there, or for those of you who are here with us now, we will drop that link in there as well, where you can get the PDF download. So yes, Connections April, Connections, Confidence and Craft, C3, exactly. You know, don't feel like, I get that you're saying, Jules, you know, I'm unbalanced for sure, it's so frustrating. Instead of allowing yourself to be frustrated by that, why don't you look at this as an opportunity? You know, you just like, this is an awareness that you just got, like, okay, I'm not balanced. My C3 is out of balance. This is actually a moment of celebration. I know it seems counterintuitive because you're used to beating yourself up, and that's just a bad habit that you and millions of other actors have developed. And I'm going to invite you to cut that out right now. Okay. Because when you have an awareness like this, like, oh, I'm not balanced, this is an opportunity, because you get to rewrite your plan right now. You get to make a decision to become balanced, you know, and that's what the focus of the whole Next Level program is about, by the way. You know, we do some really cool stuff in our private Facebook group. You know, every week we have accountability posts where you say what it is you're focused on, and we focus on one specific area: connections, confidence, or craft. And then, you know, we talk about your successes that week, and you know, you get people cheering you on, and you get a chance to, you know, ask for feedback from the community, and, you know, you get to get your questions answered. It's really more, that's why I say it's not a class at all. It's an ongoing support program where you get access to expert guidance on an ongoing basis. And you get the support of this great community. So how would you suggest asking somebody for a referral? You know, that's a whole other training. and you know, we just don't have time to get into that here. If that was a quick answer, you know, I would give it to you right now, but it's like, you know, it's just a little bit too long of a question. But if you have any questions about the 3 Next Level keys, or about joining us in the Next Level program, definitely ask that here. Or if you need some clarification on something that we talked about here, I'm happy to share that with you here. So yeah, so you guys, I'm going to invite you to join the Next Level program. I do want to make sure that you know that it's only open until Friday, November 1st at midnight. And then we close the doors. I only open this program very few times a year. It's open for a short time and then it's shut. So we probably won't open the doors again until, I don't know, sometime in 2020, but I can't say when, because I really like to, you know, as new members come in like this, you know, just really take the time to really help you, you know, get acquainted with the program. And so I like to do that and just close it down for that reason. So I'm just letting you know, for those of you who have been frustrated, if you're an actor who has not been able to get to the next level on your own, you're sick of going slow, you're sick of trying to figure it out on your own, you don't know what the milestones are, and you have no idea how to create a plan, then you're exactly who I created Next Level for. It really doesn't matter what, you know, whether you're stage 0 or stage 4, you know, we have actors from every stage working their own milestones and their own steps, helping each other along the way, and it's a beautiful thing. So I'm going to invite you to join us if it feels good to you. Would an agent sign someone even if they knew the actor, and, you know, knows that it's time to update materials, or upfront and tell them to come back? Either one of those things happens all the time. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, you know, unless you have any other questions about this training, I'm going to say thank you. I'm going to invite you to join us at the Next Level program. Just go to nextlevelactor.com to find out more about it. Make sure to join us if you're stuck and you're sick of that. And, you know, I hope that you'll allow me to use my 20 years of expertise in this business, you know, as both the, you know, I was vice president of casting for 14 years at HBO. So not only was I a casting director, but I was also vice president at a really big studio. So the scope of that experience, I've poured my heart and soul into this Next Level program because I saw so many actors struggling, and it's just not necessary. And so if you want that kind of like having an expert in your pocket so you don't have to go it alone, I'm going to invite you into the program. Okay, so please join us at nextlevelactor.com. And again, if you'd like a recap of the 3 Next Level keys, just go ahead and click the link in the description. I'll drop it there as well. Okay, awesome. Catherine, I hope you do join us. And when you do, by the way, when you do join me, go ahead and let me know so that I can give you a nice big fat welcome in the group. Okay, is having a manager a necessity? Depends. There's a million different answers for that question, and I would have to dive more into your acting career to answer that, and that's a whole other topic. So thank you for being here. Again, I'm looking forward to meeting you in the next level group, and I hope you enjoyed this training. If you have, go ahead and let me know on social media. I'm at Tips on Acting here, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Post a story, tag me in it, and if you found this valuable and you want me to do more free trainings for you, for goodness sakes, let me know that this was value to you, and I will do more, okay? Because you're the inspiration for everything I do. I do it for you. All right, thanks, you guys. I'll see ya.